This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where we're here to talk about sim racing news. And you, the pit crew, are the real star of today's show, because without your conversation, without your donations, there'd be no point in doing this. Thank you very much, Michael Clark. Much appreciated. Again, I am blown away by your generosity and support. And again, I say it all the time. You guys see the microphone. All that goes right back into the sim pit, trying to make things better. I'm in the works on a new studio with some fancier colors and lighting. So we're going to get back to our roots and keep improving things. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Happy Hump Day Wednesday to all of you guys. And I'm wearing my race room shirt today. Oh, I just noticed my microphone kind of blocks my shirt. Not kind of the same effect. Sound is low. Is it really? Let me, testing. I think it's just I had the microphone a little too far away. Sound looks good on my end, so you guys let me know if it really needs improvement or not. So what's going on in sim racing? Lots to talk about on a Wednesday. You know, I'm so bad with time zones, so forgive me if I'm wrong on the timing, but the Forza Racing Championship starts up. So it said tomorrow, and that was yesterday, at 12 p.m. PDT-EMEA, and again at 6 p.m. So if you want to check that out, you can see the best of the best in the world of Forza getting at it and getting their race on. So you can check that out if you're in there. With a stripper pole. No stripper pole, Tom Jones. Nope. Get a halo. Yeah, there we go. We need to be looking through at this show through this. Would that suck? Yeah, I thought the sound was okay too. It looks fine on my end, on my meter. Anyway, that's going on with Forza. Make sure I have my graphic down. I do. Excellent. Also, I like covering the World Rally Championships, and if they had better wheel support, I'd be getting in on doing this one, and I'm going to keep pushing you guys, get out there. But look at TX3 taking over. Nexel, isn't he Nexel's the controller guy, if I'm not mistaken. Subi in second this time. Those two have been kind of going back and forth. TX3 Speed Booster, John Armstrong, and Cyber Auto rounding out the top 5 in the Tour de Course stage for WRC. Yep, we're all good. Everybody's good. Okay. I've been warning you. Just going to keep telling you. I will get in and do some of this before too much longer. We're going to talk more about leaderboard type challenges later. But the FIA WTCR, the launch event, is going on at Nürburgring May 10th and 12th. This is going to be a traveling road show allowing you to in-person compete. They've got their online competitions. This is a big deal. The last time Race Room really did something on this magnitude would have been back in the days of the WTCC. And, you know, they were giving away big prizes at each event. They gave away a car at the end of the championship. This is something you're going to want to partake in, especially if you're a Race Room fan. And as we transition into our Race Room series on Sim Racing System, this weekend is the first race. I'm not going to be able to make it. I'll be in Long Beach. So there you go. Hey, Paul. Hello, everybody joining us late. iRacing. Ryan Lusa is really taking over. This guy is the man to beat this season. In the power rankings, we saw where he stood at the top of the board. Well, he won again. So, congratulations to Ryan Lusa, who is having a hell of a year to start off the season in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Championship. So, if you want, all those races are broadcast live. You can check them out live, or you can see the replay. They've got the link there at the Twitter feed on the iRacing Twitter. You can go there. Need to move out of the front-wheel drive class. Yeah, Spatial, you're way too fast for that. Dave Blair, hot lapping can be boring unless you have a time that you're trying to beat. That's when it starts to make it more fun. RF is stalking. He is going after that leaderboard. We're going to talk about that in a little bit because I don't think we're quite done with that one. Hey, Chris Shelton. Welcome to the show. I have a piece of news from you. Thank you for sending it in today. I appreciate that. Yeah, Lusa, you know, it's more than a driver usually. Usually when you have a driver that is dominating, it often comes back to the team behind him as well as that driver's ability and talent. Dakar, they gave us another teaser. You know, they're every day. Now they've kind of slowed down the pace, I notice. But here we are getting to see, like, the other car on the track. Well, on the course. Which is kind of a cool thing we haven't seen. You can actually see the smoke, or the dirt is better stated, coming off the tires. That's good to see because we hadn't seen it yet. And that gives us a little more hope even for that. Hey, Cody. Cody, I got your story, but we're going to talk about that tomorrow because I want to give it enough information. It was a little too late for me to pull it together the way I really, really want to. The car pack that was delayed, it looks like it's hit the store. It will be available tomorrow. This is for Forza. This Corvette's been in a different game or sim, if I'm not mistaken. Anybody got my back on that? Anyone recall where we've driven that Corvette before? The full article's at GT Planet. I'm looking at the Twitter feed for GT Planet. But yeah, haven't we driven this Corvette in a different sim? Please, someone tell us who and where. Road racing is very fun, RF. I really love it. It's amazing how much racing is racing, but it's amazing how much different each discipline is, whether you're talking on the dirt, you know, rally car stuff, whether you're talking about dirt oval stuff, whether you're talking about cement or you know, hard surface oval, or whether you're talking about road racing. They're all so different. They all have their own very unique style that it requires to master them, and skills from one doesn't necessarily always transfer to the other. So I've been pushing and telling you guys, leaderboards, go win prizes, go, man, represent. You guys are fast. I race against a lot of you guys, and you guys are fast, and we could be winning things and setting leaderboards on fire. I don't know if this is a result of the show. Jonathan White has raced with us in a handful of SRS Sim Racing System series. Jonathan White went to New York and set the fastest lap in that Ritmotech Fastest Lap Skip Barber Challenge. He won a 3-day driving school to the new Skip Barber. I say new because they've come back from the dead after bankruptcy and new ownership. But that is like $5,000, I think, that he won basically in prize. You guys run with Jonathan. You could have his pace. You could have gone there and performed this lap as he did. So congratulations to Jonathan White. Congratulations to Ritmotech and Skip Barber, because I love this kind of stuff. But this is up on Instagram from Ritmotech Instagram, showing the full lap that won him the prize, I guess. And Glenn with the hourglass. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's a great point, Chris. When you learn other skills, it transfers over. You do some rally racing and you learn little things the car does when it's most twitchy. And believe it or not, in a real small scale, you're feeling some of those same things on the road course at times. Yeah, Paul, there's a little backstory on that. You know, they're working with Sim Racing Girls, so they have their hybrid media / internal person who can control things. That's part one. Part two, in their defense, I have a piece that I've been working on and I'm a little behind on. Actually, in all fairness, very behind on. And so right now they're kind of like, hey, are you going to finish that piece? And I'm like, what about the McLaren? They're like, yeah, are you going to finish that piece? So I'm just being honest with you guys because I have nothing to hide in this world. They're not holding out on me, but that's where we're at. So you can't point a finger in this case at them, even though they probably could still say whatever, send it to me anyway. Anyway, there's thoughts. I'm not saying anything negative about it. I'm just mentioning this because a lot of us talked about the F1 race over the weekend here in the States, but ESPN has announced they're going commercial free for the rest of the F1 2018 season. So that is great for me because I've actually watched both of the first races of the season, and I'm kind of already sucked into this season, and now it's just going to get better. That's great news for all of us here in America watching that. No, Tom, there's no need to do a new video on the 2.5, but we talked a lot about the Feel VR wheel. We talked a lot about inexpensive direct drive wheels. And Simplicity, Chris, I believe, is the one. Chris, you sent me this, right? Simplicity is actually doing a new line of direct drive wheels with admittedly lower power. So they have a 7 Newton meter, a 10 Newton meter, and a 12 Newton meter. So that's all in that Feel VR to Sim Experience range of wheel power. And they're selling them at very affordable prices. So $531 USD, US dollars, for the 7, which, you know, that's a more strength than I use. I don't need a 7 even. When I think of how low I use I think mine's 24 Newton meters, if I'm not mistaken. So I run that thing literally at 1% force feedback at times. Obviously lower than I need. But if you're looking for it, and they have some other stuff, they show some of their, this is Simplicity, by the way, some of their future things. So they're working on a GT wheel of their own or adapter of some sort. Anyway, Wipeout Omega Collection. The PSVR support was done by only 5 people. I'm not going to dwell on it, but it just gives you an idea. The amount of people seems light, actually, taking a game and converting it to full-on. But maybe it's easier than I thought. But it was a team of 5 that took it from the standard to the PSVR version. Other thing, this is kind of interesting. So EA Play announces dates, live stream, and pre-registration. This is going on like sort of another one of those anti-E3. Microsoft is stepping outside of the walls of E3 to do their main thing. E3 being one of the biggest, what has been one of the biggest trade shows over the years. And over the last few years, I've watched it go from being a trade show to become just like Comic-Con. And not to take anything away from Comic-Con, but I'm assuming the real hardcore industry enthusiasts, 30 Newton meters, is that what mine is? I have the middle one, I can't anyway, but E3 has been transformed where it's been taken over by the wrong crowd. It's not that it's been taken over by the wrong crowd. That's not fair. It's bigger than ever. It is no longer a trade show. It is now a media blitz, and they sell tickets to the public. They're very expensive, but then they restrict the media to a different level in order to sell tickets to the public. That is the opposite of a trade show. Comic-Con has gone through that many years ago. Comic-Con is the biggest thing on earth when it comes to that kind of stuff now. But it also means that Microsoft said, hey, well, if this is what it is, maybe we're better off on our own. They went across the street doing their own thing. EA is now doing their EA Play, and they're doing it in LA near the same amount of time. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see E3 just completely no longer be a trade show at some point. Anyway, speaking of trade shows, PAX is opening up in Australia, so you can get tickets for that. So if you want to go one of the biggest trade show gaming shows of the year, PAX is one of them, and you can go check that out if you're down under. This is our image of the day, and this is no new news other than we've been doing some motorcycle games, or sims if you want to call them. And the TT Isle of Man, sorry, I'm stuttering here. The TT Isle of Man didn't have wheel support, but you know what? I didn't even want to use it. I was just seeing if it would work. I had no desire to use my wheel and pedals to drive a motorcycle. That isn't even the right way. And honestly, holding a hand controller almost feels more like a bike than this, because I can at least operate my gas with my handlebar, and if I'm going to lean like I do, I can do that. Anyway, here's Motorcycle Sim. I've showed it on the show before. They have a video as well, Lean GP. And even though there's no way for it to be awesome there's no way it can be awesome, because that is not how you ride a bike either. It is it's the wrong thing is leading the motion. You know, it's backwards in my mind. And I do have a little bit of experience. There's another thing on the lean, because I've actually driven the Cruden. And this is the Cruden variation. And I've actually ridden this. Cruden, I did a video on the ultimate sim in the world, and it was the Cruden, you know, $250,000 driving simulator. I didn't do a video on the motorcycle, but I have ridden this thing. But same thing, the motion is completely backward. But if you were going to play a driving motorcycle sim, hey, I'll take this. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong at all. But someday we could see a future of motorcycle sims, is my point in talking about all this. Uh-oh, what's still making noise? Where's the noise? There's the noise. All right, so that's the end of that topic. Race department has an interview with Assetto Corsa Advanced Driver Academy. So this is, if you just want to know more behind the scenes stuff, I'm just promoting this because anytime there's good information for us to learn stuff, I'm not going to give too much away, but it's a lot of cool information, and that's at Race Department. An interview with Race Department's Assetto Corsa Advanced Driver Academy. What else do we have? I have more to talk about, believe it or not. And I got to hurry. I have my buddy coming into town. One of my best friends coming into town today. I'll be a little light on content till I leave town for the track, but I will be back. We'll give you my schedule in a moment. Blomqvist is Andretti's Formula E driver, and there was an interview talking to him about running the Rome E-Prix, they call it. And anyway, the article goes on to talk about how excited he is for the event from the time that he spent in the simulator training for the race. So, how do you learn a track? How do you learn a car when you've never been there? Well, you get in a sim, and that's where we're at in our world. We win. They all mocked us for decades, and now they need us. So, I didn't even know, or I mentioned it once before, but this is on Cody's blog, but they're talking about the Volkswagen R Dirt World Championships. So there's a whole other competition going on, one we haven't talked about very much. You know, so 3 different classes, Xbox One, PC, and PS4. Tom, that's not a very fair question here on the show. For me, it might come down to other things. I mean, to an extent. Oh, Paul asked the question as well. I think they're comparable pedals, and I could give you a pro and con list for each if you're putting them head to head. If I owned other Fanatic gear, I am going to go with the V3 pedals over the Proto SimTech, purely for the reason that I can plug them into the wheel when I need and do anything you want with them. Head-to-head, no wheel concern. Yeah, I might lean with the PT1s. They're just a little bit more substantial. They're a little more unique. They work exceptionally well. They're highly adjustable. Fanatic V3 are really good for the, you know, but they're also the pedals that everybody has. So I'm just sort of jumping on the train. Maybe I want to be a little more unique. Anyway, there's my short answer to that one. Team Liquid, one of the biggest esport teams, announces another sponsor joining the team, SAP. And these guys are bringing the cloud platform and a bunch of things to them. So I'm just mentioning a big sponsorship. And that does take us to the end of the news. Now let's talk Simpit news. Man, I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of what we have going on right now. First up, let's talk about sim racing, Simpit Exos Challenge on sim racing systems. Tonight, we'll be doing Attack the Track at 6 o'clock for Sebring. Man, I'm in trouble. Had a good race at Spa. Had a nightmare race at Silverstone. And now everything is on tomorrow night's race because I won't be here Friday. So tonight, we're going to have to do some really good training despite having a friend in town. And we'll be getting ready for Sebring. The racing will be going on tomorrow night and Friday night at 6 p.m. Our training night or Attack the Track tonight at 6. If you want to know how everyone's doing, you can go to the Simpit and go to our leaderboard And that leaderboard will take you to find out that Jack Davison is actually leading the way so far at Sebring, running a 141.180, which is screaming fast. Sean Seabrand, Pro Sim TNT, he is here in the audience, I do believe. He's sitting in second place with a 141.663. Ahmed Yazbajev, Jared Glatzer, and Daniel Bradoff rounding out the top 5. I see Jesse's running in 6th, 7th. Rick in 8th. Joa in 9th. Tom in 12th. Dave Blair in 14th so far. So if you want to know where you would stand in our series before you jump in with us, those are the kind of lap times. And thank you, Dennis, the big ones, for setting up our server. You just go onto Assetto Corsa, go onto the online section, search for Simpit, and you'll see our server there. Beyond that, what else do I have to talk about? P-Cars. All right, so last night, I did the leaderboard challenge. And I did it because I just happened to have turned on Project Cars 2 to take a look. And I went to their community challenge, and what do you know? Dallara on the Beach was their challenge. Running the IndyCar, last year's IndyCar, not the new one, at Long Beach, where I'm going to be spending my entire weekend. And I thought, well, man, what a better way to get pumped up for the race this weekend, but to turn some laps. So I actually decided to go after the leaderboard. And I'm always telling you guys, go after the leaderboard. Go after the prizes. You saw Jonathan White win the Skip Barber thing. I want to see where you guys do. And so last night I spontaneously went after the leaderboard. And I will say, I surprised myself and did rather well. And I was in 6th place until the pit crew got to work, because David Clymer, sitting on top of the board, number 1 in the Dallara on the Beach challenge. Well done, Clymer. So my hat's off to him, because he's one of the 2 people who bumped me off of the front. I now find myself in 9th place. I see Joa is sitting in 13th, and I can't read it. There was another one of the pit crew on here, wasn't there? I can't read the graphic on my screen here. But look at that. The pit crew. We are starting to make our presence seen and known to the entire world. So congratulations to you guys. If you want to see where you are, get in there. Go on there. Project Cars 2, go to community events. It's the one that's running for the next 11 days now. And send me an image. Let me see where you do and how you did, or come tell us on the pit stop tomorrow. It'd be fun to talk about. We will be back tonight at 6 p.m. with that Attack the Track Sebring for Sim Racing System. Be back in the morning with another edition of the Pit Stop. And tomorrow night's race, maybe I'll be able to throw something else spontaneously between now and then at you, but who knows. And then I'm going to be off the air for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, as I just take a vacation down in Long Beach and check out the racing there. So be meeting El Bucho and Franco. John Hill's going to be there. We're going to have a special interview, so we will be working while down there. Connection down there is horrible, so I doubt you're going to see any live coverage. If we can, we will, but I doubt it. Other than that, we just have some fun stuff going on, and I hope you'll join us for the racing, or at least for tomorrow's pit stop. And as I'm always telling you, get out there and race. Get on those leaderboards. Send me screenshots. Show me what you can do in all these great competitions going on in sim racing right now. It's never been better than right now when it comes to competing in sim racing. And it doesn't matter what platform, doesn't matter what sim. The competitions are everywhere. They're cutthroat and they're fun. So get out there and race. That's going to do it for today. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.